What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Tottenham 4, Copenhagen 0. This is your match review. A great night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last night. Obviously, I was there and I loved every second of it. It really was a fantastic performance from Spurs. Could have been a lot more than 4, and we'll get into all the brilliant gameplay and everything like that in this game.
No blaming the fans yesterday.
No blaming the fans yesterday. The fans did their job yesterday. I thought the fans were brilliant. And you've got to say, our best Champions League performance by some way this season, for sure.
This season, yeah, 100%. And nice to see Tottenham team with a bit of intent in them. You can see when they're getting the ball, the first thought was, how can we get this forward? Who's in space? It wasn't like the Chelsea game, where it's always like, how can we play this backwards? How can we get it back to Ricardo? It seemed that was like the first port of call. And really loved some lovely football. But yeah, obviously you got to take into account the level of opposition and all that kind of stuff. But definitely the way we were set up and the way we attacked the game was a breath of fresh air for this season.
I mean, look, everyone's going to kind of use the level of opposition as a kind of stick to say, oh, it's not that impressive. Maybe you're not going in the right direction because you should be beating this team by this kind of scoreline. Look, which is true. We should be beating Copenhagen convincingly, and I fully expected us to beat them convincingly. But the way Spurs have been playing our football this season, we haven't really we've been able to beat teams convincingly in terms of a scoreline, but not really on the eye test kind of thing. Even like the Doncaster game, for example, like we beat them 3-0 that day, but we only had 3 big chances throughout the whole game. Like this game, compared to that, was completely different. Like we had 8 big chances in the game. We could have scored about 10 goals literally yesterday. I think you really saw players that haven't been clicking start to click a little bit. Like Javi Simons was the key example of that. I think he got the official man of the match, I think, yesterday, Javi Simons. And
even though he went off on 59?
Yeah, and he looked really upset to go off, to be honest. He was like proper in the groove. But in the first half, I thought he was just pulling all the strings, man. There was like he laid 2 on a plate for Kolo Muani, didn't he? And Muani's got to be doing a bit better from his finishing. But that assist for Brennan Johnson, I thought was absolutely brilliant, kind of with that through ball on the outside. He was just everywhere, and his creativity was really on show yesterday. And I think it's like the first time we've really seen it on a consistent basis in a game.
I think the key to Xavi yesterday was just getting him on the ball more. And this is what I was saying beforehand, when we've been frustrated with some of his performances and maybe he's been a bit wasteful. But I think that by and large, when we've seen him in these other games, he's literally getting on the ball in and around the penalty area, maybe once, twice, 3 times a game. Like nowhere near enough. And this is a guy who likes to try things. He likes to try a flick. He likes to look for that looking for a pass to open up the opposition. He'll try different things. And when you're only getting it, the amount of times he was getting it, and you're not making things happen, it's going to look frustrating. But yesterday, it was completely different. I can't remember how many times he got the ball in the final third. And he was wasteful, but he was also pulling things off because he got it so often. And that was the big difference for me from Xavi. Yes, he was looking more confident, but he was getting more touches of the ball in more dangerous areas, and that was the key for me.
Yeah, and I was speaking to a few people at half-time, right, about Xavi. And I was like, at half-time, I was so happy with the level of performance that Xavi had put in. He'd laid 2 on a plate, like I mentioned, for Muani. He got the assist for Brendan Johnson, and a high-quality assist at that as well. And then I'm still hearing, the people that I was speaking to, I was still hearing them being like, oh yeah, but he's wasting, he's still misplacing passes and all. I'm like, but if you keep trying things and you have that kind of quality, things are going to come off and things are going to pay off. And it already did in that game. 3 big chances created. Like, I was speaking to Brian before I came in today, and we were talking about Xavi, and I said to him that Christian Eriksen, in his pomp for Tottenham Hotspur, when things used to just revolve around him and we used to click every time he was on the pitch, like even him, like with the high level of chances that he used to create, loads didn't come off for him because he's just consistently trying to create. And when you're in that position and you're that kind of player, you try so many things. Obviously, not everything's going to come off, because if everything comes off, you're going to have like 10 assists a game, you know what I mean? So I think for the level of chances that he created and what he was trying to do yesterday, I think it's a massive step in the right direction.
Yeah, and I agree, and it's about, for me, a lot of the stuff why he's been struggling is to do with the team more than him. I know he hasn't been good as well, but I think we've been asking him to basically have very minimal touches and create things with very little time and space on the ball. And yesterday was very different. We were finding him more and more often. He was linking, getting closer to other players as well. We're giving him more opportunities to create, and then it's no surprise, the more opportunities you give him, the more chance you're giving him of creating something. And also, the more confidence he's building. Okay, I thought for the first 10 minutes, he was maybe a bit wasteful, not things weren't coming off. But what happened was we just kept feeding him the ball, kept getting it to him in those dangerous areas. And then once a few things started coming off, then all of a sudden it started clicking. He started linking, and things were happening naturally off the cuff. He wasn't overthinking things. He was just, that assist right at the end of the half for Mwani. One touch, look up, bang, on a plate. And that was a big difference we saw with Xavi. And you see when a lot of the best number 10s in the league, look at Bruno, he's very wasteful when he's in that position. But what do? They just keep feeding him, because he's got the quality to make something happen if you feed him the ball enough.
It's just the nature of the beast. That's what it is. It's the nature. It's the nature of being a number 10. Like, you are going to waste chances. That's just the way it is. And but look, like I said, massive step in the right direction. I think we've got to persist with him in that position now. I think the tactical setup that Frank did really played into him, and you really started to see kind of the little pass and move, really intricate kind of passages of play yesterday, particularly like that one that Mwani really should have scored. I can't remember if it was the first one or the second one, but that was such a lovely move, wasn't it? With Sarr involved, Xavi involved, Mwani involved, and just little passes around Odebear as well, like just passes round the back, quick pass and move, intricate style of play. It's just something that we've been missing, and it seems like yesterday. Look, I know that maybe Xavi got a helping hand with the way Copenhagen were a bit willing participants and did give him quite a bit of space on the pitch yesterday, and he was operating in quite at some points he didn't have anyone around him, and he was able to strut his stuff. But those little passages of play is something that we've been missing all season. Yeah,
and I think there was evidence yesterday of those relationships building, the combinations building as well. And that was the most encouraging thing yesterday, because even in games we've won, even convincingly, those little things have been hard to come by, those little moments. And it's been a struggle for us to kind of build up from open play most of the time this season. So to see that happening in a Champions League game was really encouraging. The fact that Odebear, Mwani, Xavi all getting close to each other, Brennan running in behind, a doggy stretching the play, all those dynamics seemed to be in place yesterday, and that was really encouraging. Bentancur playing it between the lines, Sarr just a bundle of energy all around the pitch. All of a sudden, you can kind of see it all clicking, and you can see the vision of what we're trying to build. And yesterday was evidence. Yes, it's still even not perfect. Even yesterday, you saw Odebear and Xavi running into each other a few times. Like, those things still need to be ironed out and perfected. But that was a massive step forward. I think that's the way I'd put it. I think turning point's the wrong word, but I'll say step forward is the right word to use.
I think that's the way that Thomas Frank kind of explained it after the game.
And I think he's spot on. Because I think turning point, I don't think you can say a win against Copenhagen is a turning point. Albeit, Brian said, is this Poch's Villa moment? I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. But I definitely see this was probably the first game I'm really seeing things getting put in place and started to click, and that's really, really good. Like I said, this was I compared it maybe to Poch's like Everton moment. We had that game against Everton where it just started to click. We had an impressive win where we were pressing high, and it started to click in that game. And I think maybe this is a bit of evidence here of things in the attacking phase starting to click. And defensively, we were still pretty solid. We didn't give much away. It's not like we were open. Copenhagen had very little of the game. What I would say is obviously Copenhagen, they were physically just not a match for us. And that really surprised me. I really thought it was going to be a bit of a tighter game from that front. I think we bullied them. They really struggled to play any sort of football out the back. We were just catching about time and time again. They were a lot poorer. Obviously, we made them look poor, so that goes into it. But they were definitely a lot poorer than I thought they would be. I thought they were going to give us a lot more of a challenge than they did. So that did surprise me a bit, especially their goalkeeper. You have to say the first two goals were massive errors from him, in my opinion. But you got to take advantage of it, and we did. You got to have the quality to do it. Brennan, that first goal goal is not an easy finish, and tight angle, he does it. Mwani, I think, has to show composure in that moment to bring it down out of the sky. Brilliant control, Berbatov-esque it was, I thought. And I think a lot of strikers in that position probably go for goal and try and tap it into the empty net, but he had to show a lot of composure to just bring it down, pass it to Odegaard. Good goal. But I guess if you're being hyper harsh, on yesterday, you would say,
you would never be hyper harsh. You would never be hyper harsh.
Who's you? Me personally?
Yeah.
What were you trying to say? I am hyper harsh.
You would never be hyper harsh. Come on.
I'm just saying, if you are being hyper harsh, you would say, as for all the good play, it did take 2 goalkeeping mistakes against a poor team to score. But I think if you're watching the game overall, and when you're looking at the eye test, we could have scored numerous goals, even without those goalkeeping mistakes.
I think 4-0 completely flattered Copenhagen yesterday. It was one-way traffic. It was an absolute battering. It was an annihilation of a team, and I haven't seen an annihilation of a team coming to Tottenham for some time, So it was a welcome return to actually, just absolutely just wiping the floor with the team, man. It was so great to see. It really was. And the fans were brilliant yesterday. I thought a couple of things really kind of stood out for me. Obviously, that we've been speaking about on here for a while is Udogie on the left-hand side, being able to stretch that play and actually having a left foot on that left-hand side, making a real impact. And also, I thought Pape Sarr alongside Bentancur, where Bentancur, I thought, had a fantastic game, man. I thought Bentancur was brilliant,
What I don't understand is, obviously a lot of people are attributing it to maybe Paulinho not being there and Bentancur and Sarr being a pivot and making us more progressive. But I don't understand, why can Bentancur not do what he did yesterday with Paulinho next to him?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's no real reason why not.
I'm not sure.
All of a sudden he's passing forward between the lines and he's like a progressive player. I'm like, and everyone's saying, oh, it's such a difference. And I was even saying it's such a difference, not having Paulinho and Bentancur together. And, on the face of it, we took Paulinho out the firing line and we changed the double pivot, and it did change. I think, obviously, we did play a lot more attacking football, but I don't understand why Bentancur can't do what he did yesterday with Paulinho next to him. I don't understand it.
I don't get it either, but, he played the number 6 role how we want it to be played. He was putting out fire. He was so aggressive in the middle of the park, and when he did get it, it was always forward thinking. I think this is, I said it before, I can't remember which game it was, but I said, this is Bentancur's best performance of the season, but I think this one tops the lot, to be honest. I thought he was just fantastic, dominated that midfield. Pape Sarr as well, I thought he was a bit of an enabler in that middle of the park where, he was getting involved in some of the good things that he was doing, but when he really came alive is after the red card for Brennan Johnson. After that red card, I thought he just became fantastic, man, really putting himself about. And once that red card was given, I thought it was really, you saw the Pape Sarr that we kind of fell in love with at the early stage of the season.
Yeah, and obviously he kind of moved to the right wing after that red card. And when you've got someone with his engine, especially when you're a man down and he can basically do the running for 2 players, he becomes its weight worth in gold in those situations, because it's almost as if we weren't down to 10 men when you have someone like Sarr with that running power, and he was absolutely incredible. And yeah, he had a really good game overall. I thought maybe he was one of the quieter players in general. I agree with you, but because he was doing a lot of running and just allowing the other players to do all the good work on the ball, and he just made sure whenever we lost the ball, he's on it like a flash and made sure we recovered the situation very quickly. And as you say, when we went down to 10 men, absolutely phenomenal.
But I think what maybe the biggest difference was having Romero back in the side, because Romero at right centre-back, for all the love that we give Kevin Danso, and he's done very well stepping in for Coutinho Romero, he just doesn't have what Coutinho Romero has. First of all, he's our captain, Romero, which goes without saying. But second of all, just the ball progression from the back. Always just playing it quickly into the midfield. He's just phenomenal. He is so phenomenal, Coutinho Romero. He was brilliant again yesterday. And he just starts attack for us from the back all the time. And it's just something Kevin Danso just can't do.
And there was also some great moments with Romero where Van de Ven lost the ball. And Romero's like, if you dare try and attack us. And he just went and whacked it a couple of times. It's like, you want to try and attack us? All right, Van der Ven's going to lose the ball, but I'm sure you'd rather Van der Ven kept the ball with, well, I'm going to go into you here. And it kind of sent a message to the Copenhagen attackers, like, I'm onto you. Like, don't even try and think about attacking here, because even if you beat Van der Ven, I'm going to come into you. But yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. So good to have him back on the pitch. And it makes a difference. I think all the dynamics made, so I think everything, all the dynamics yesterday just worked. You got Rivera back in. You got that 3-2-5. Although Frank, after the game in a Spurs TV interview, said it was 3-2-5/3-1-6. Yeah. So, even there, he's maybe adding an extra player into that attacking build-up. Maybe I'm guessing Sarr with Bentancur sitting. So, maybe there's evidence of him trying to force the issue a bit more when we're facing teams who are looking to defend against us, and putting another player a bit further forward in the build-up. But I think having a doggy out wide, having Odeberg and closer to Xavi, having Mawani with that bit more physicality to break in behind and make runs and hold up the ball, having Brennan stretching the play. And again, I said it before the game, not always looking down that right-hand side. Maybe, again, without Kudus there, we kind of spread the threat around. I don't know if that would have happened if Kudus was on the pitch as well. It probably would have, but I'm just saying, is there any coincidence? The last 2 games he hasn't started, we've looked a lot better going forward. I do wonder if that's a coincidence, or maybe it's just we're not always just focusing towards him, and that's a really encouraging thing. It's not even just Bentancur forward as well. Great.
It's not even not just focusing down that right-hand side, but it's like what we mentioned in the preview. I think you asked the question, like, will it make the other players step up a little bit? And I think it did, because I think Odeberg was involved in a lot of the good things that we were doing yesterday. I think he was brilliant yesterday, Wilson Odeberg, and that carries on his kind of like forward progression in the Spurs shirt now. You're having good performances over the last couple of games from him, all the games that he started, and he finally got that goal as well, his first goal of the season. And Brennan Johnson on the right-hand side, I think the last couple of games he started, we're giving him some praise and him being able to hurt the opposition. So I think the forward line really worked well yesterday. Kolo Muani pressing from the front. I know he should have scored a couple of goals, but I think he had a decent display yesterday, Kolo Muani. So, I mean, everyone in that forward line really played their part yesterday, and it was great to see.
Yeah, and the most important thing is the relationships, the connection between that front four seems to be building, and you're seeing a little one-touches, little pass and move. That is the most crucial thing, because that is the hardest thing to build in an attacking setup. And they seem to be doing more things off instinct rather than just instruction, which is really, really important. And that was great. And when you compare the dynamics in this game compared to Saturday against Chelsea, it's just night and day. We had Spencer on the left, we had Paulinho Bentancur in the middle, we had you had kind of Xavi out on the left as well. You had Danto in defence. All those things switched up for this game. I understand lesser opposition, but all those things switched up, and you could just see the difference in how we were looking. And I think if we played similar to that against Chelsea, I'm not saying we definitely would have won, but at least the fans would have been a lot more on side with how we're playing and what we're trying to do. And I think yesterday, hopefully, we have to see that in the Premier League. Of course, we haven't seen it yet in the Premier League, that kind of performance, but I think yesterday that was a snapshot of how this team can look under this manager with all those dynamics in place. The only problem is, with these dynamics, you're kind of reliant on a few things. You're kind of reliant on the doggy staying fit. You're relying on Romero staying fit. You're maybe relying on an opposition sitting off you a bit, and all those kind of stuff. So obviously different games cause different challenges, but yesterday was really encouraging.
Another player who I was very happy with yesterday was Pedro Porro, because everything that he did wrong at Chelsea, and he put in a bit of a stinker against Chelsea, I think he put right in this game. And yes, I know, it's Copenhagen and Chelsea, 2 different very levels of opposition, but his passing was on point. The cross-field kind of long-distance ones were all on point. Laid 2 on a plate for Richarlison. I don't know how Richarlison's not doing more from his opportunities. So Pedro Porro became a real threat and danger from an attacking perspective, which we haven't seen much of this season, which is the reality. So it was good to see Pedro Porro back on form.
Yeah, and tried his best, didn't he, to get Scarlett a goal late on, and it was really unlucky. But yeah, he had a much better game, and I think it suits him playing in this little back three, pick your moments to go forward kind of role, but also staying back. I think it does suit him quite well, being a bit of a quarterback. In the build-up, in like a bit of a Trent kind of role, a bit more inverted, a bit narrower as well. I think it suits him quite a lot. So I think it was good, really good yesterday.
Sending off, though, happens at, what was it, 1-0? It happens
happened at 2-0.
At 2-0, sorry. Brennan Johnson gets sent off. So he slides in, studs are up. But I just thought it was incredibly harsh to change that from a yellow to a red. It's like, you look at it, he's sliding, doesn't seem like there's much pace on his slide. And the player just kind of, it takes into his stride. And then he kind of, it's like no intent there from Brennan Johnson whatsoever. I didn't think the ref had to change that.
Yeah, because when he first makes the challenge, the leg actually isn't there.
Yeah.
And the leg, and then it kind of changes mid-challenge, and where he kind of takes a step in towards Brennan, and then all of a sudden, he's right in the kind of line of Brennan's foot, and it looks awful when you look at the still image and that stuff. But you look at how the challenge happened as well. Brennan Johnson's foot kind of bounced off the ground and went into the back of his Achilles, but it, when he starts the challenge, his leg, the Achilles, isn't quite there. So it's very harsh. It's really unfortunate. I think the ending result of the challenge was quite a bad challenge, and I think obviously the Copenhagen's the player, his ankle does roll as well after the challenge from Brennan. So I can understand they felt it was a dangerous challenge, but I just think the circumstances that led to that happening, it's just really unfortunate for Brennan. I mean, it is a bit of a stupid challenge from Brennan, so it's hard to feel too much sympathy, because what is he doing anyway? Why is he sliding like that? I understand, even at 2-0, he's clearly, putting his all into the game, and he's trying to still be aggressive and keep our boot on the necks of Copenhagen. So I appreciate that. But in the middle of the pitch, there's really no need to do a sliding challenge like he did, especially when he's getting nowhere near the ball. So from that point, silly from him. But to upgrade it to a red, I thought was incredibly harsh. I feel bad from that point of view for him.
But look, it didn't make any sort of difference. And by the way, is Brendan out for the next 3 Champions League games? That's mad. Yeah, 3 Champions League games he's out for.
Dangerous play.
So he's out for the rest of the group stage?
Back for Frankfurt.
For the last game, yeah. Wow. So yeah, that's him out for the next 3 games. Bet and hope Kudus is going to be all right. But it did not impact us one bit. It actually made us get more aggressive and more dominant. And look, what happened. Arise, Sir Mickey. Arise, Mickey van der Bale. Arise, Son Heung van. Son de Ven. Arise. What's the other one I heard? Mickey Villa. Oh
Mickey
my
Villa.
God, man! What a goal. Was that not just a carbon copy of Sonny against Burnley? Like, picks it up in the exact same position, kind of like the same line of run as well. It was just like, and the finish was even better than Son's, and it's just unbelievable. And like, Mickey van der Ven has threatened to do this on a couple of occasions, but this time he actually did it, took it past 4, 5, 6 men, however many he took it past, and slotted it like he's bloody Harry Kane or Erling Haaland or something. It was just incredible.
It's a mad weapon to have in your armory, like a centre-back who can just cut through the opposition just like that, just with one run. And as you say, it's not the first time he's done it. The other 2 times he got assists, but this time he went one step further. And, you got to say as well, he's got incredible finishing ability. I think it goes under the radar. Some of the goals he scored with that left foot. You got to remember that goal. Was it Forest he scored? Brilliant against Burnley.
The edge of the box where he scored, yeah.
Burnley curled it into the corner as well from the edge of the box. So
he used to be a striker.
Yeah, it goes under the radar. I mean, the way he was in full flight was reminiscent of Bale. It really was. With that, Bale used to kind of shrug people off and just have kind of no slowing down whatsoever. Even when you're getting near the box, he's not slowing down. He doesn't look like he's getting tired. Like, I wonder, like, so some part of me, I'm watching, I'm like, God, could this be like a Bale reincarnation? Like, is it wrong for this guy with that kind of physical capability to be a centre-back? Like, should we be using those capabilities forward more when he's that kind of ability? But, look, I know, we all know Bale started as a left-back and moved to a winger, and not quite a centre-back, so it's very different. But when you've got that kind of physical ability and that kind of ability on your left foot as well, is he wasting a centre-back? Who knows? But it was absolutely incredible.
I mean, when he can do that from centre-back, then it's like an unbelievable tool to have. Maybe we should be playing at left-back. But, look, it was just incredible, and the reaction in the stadium, the stadium just went absolutely balmy, man. It went off, man, in that stadium. The corporate section, the south stand, the north stand, the east stand, the west stand, the whole stadium went absolutely berserk when he scored that goal. You knew as soon as that went in, you witnessed something special, and you knew it's going to be a goal that's going to be replayed and replayed and replayed. One of the best, if not the best, goals a defender is ever going to score. It was just incredible. It really was.
I haven't got bored of watching it yet.
No, you're never going to. Have you ever got bored watching Sonny's goal against Burnley?
No. That was 6 years ago.
You know what I mean? You're never going to get bored of watching that goal, and you're going to see that a hell of a lot. You know, it's going to be replayed everywhere. And, you know, he's got to get the... If Sonny wins the Puskas for that Burnley goal, like, he's got to win the Puskas for that.
Well, he's front runner, that's for sure. I can't think of too many goals better than that so far this year. So I think that has got to be it. Yeah, I think just give it to him now. Don't need for any of the nominations and all 100%. That rubbish. Just give it to him.
100%. It was just incredible. And then a few minutes later, I'm there and I'm like, what's Romero doing up there? Like, we're winning 3-0. What's he doing in the opposition box? Squares it to João Palhinha. And João Palhinha, what is that? His third or fourth goal of the season as well. So you've got Mickey van der Ven, who scored 6 goals in all competitions. You've got João Palhinha, who scored 4 goals now in all competitions. What is the world coming to, man? Like, how is Mickey on 6 goals?
Because someone has to step up and score, because our attackers don't seem to be doing it, albeit Brennan and Odobert both did score in this game. But yeah, our defenders seem to be the ones providing the goals. Incredible. I mean, Mickey, he's getting close to 10 goals already. He's getting close to double digits. He's on par with some of the better strikers in the league, which is insane.
Gyökeres is on 6 goals.
It's madness, absolute madness. So, Mickey, I'm saying, put him up front. Put Mickey up front. We don't need him at the back.
I think he's got more goals than our whole forward line combined, hasn't he? Richarlison's got 3, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, Brendan's got 4 in all comps.
Oh, Brendan's got 4. So yeah, no, he doesn't then. So, but still, just incredible stuff from Mickey van der Ven, pure legend, man, for that goal. And
also on Romero's pass, I've watched it back. Actually, a lot more difficult pass.
Oh, 100%, very good pass. Yeah,
like. Like on the first viewing, it looks like a simple square, but if you actually watch it back, he has to squeeze it in between 2 defenders on his weaker foot as well, and he kind of drills it into Paulinho. It's a brilliant pass, and good finish from Paulinho as well. But we didn't stop there, did we? We were late on, kept going. Obviously, Richarlison comes on, hits the bar, and Scarlett came on with a really good cameo, I felt.
You know what? Scarlett, I feel like the last few times he's played, he always puts in a big shift when he comes on. Even at last season when we saw him come on a few times, like, I really like Dane Scarlett, and I think he should be given more of an opportunity than what he's been given at this moment in time. And he came on, he won that penalty. Well done to him. I saw a bit of the discourse on it on the fan show yesterday. I mean, I thought it was a bit over the top on Richarlison taking the penalty and not Dane Scarlett, because first of all, Richarlison would have been the named penalty taker on the pitch. And second of all, like, yes, Richarlison could have done a nice thing and given it to Dane Scarlett, but at the end of the day, Richarlison is also dealing with his confidence issues at the moment, and he needs a goal as well, and he's one of the senior players in the team, and he desperately needs his goal. So I understand completely why Richarlison took the penalty, albeit I would have preferred Dane to take it, but I don't think it's like this big disgrace that everyone's talking about.
No, I don't think it. I think it's definitely blown out of proportion, but when Dane won the penalty, I shouted on the watch on, Richarlison, don't you dare go and get that ball, because I was desperate for Dane to take it, because it's probably going to be the last opportunity for him to score a Champions League goal for Tottenham, or even a goal for Tottenham, because he could be out the door soon, and it'll be nice for him to have that moment, potentially one more opportunity to do. He's not going to get too many opportunities, I envisage, in a Tottenham
He
shirt.
should, though. He should be getting more opportunities, in my opinion. Like, look, why not?
That's fine, but at the end of the day, we have 3 strikers here. Solanke's going to be back fit soon, so he's not even going to be making the bench soon. So it's the time is running out for him. That's the reality.
Give him the opportunities over Richarlison, man. Richarlison is just playing so bad at the moment, man.
Look, okay, but I don't think he will. and that's just reality, in my opinion. Look, Rishi came on, hit the bar twice, like he was a nuisance as well, but he was also quite frustrating, I have to say. But it's interesting, the reaction to Rishi missing chances compared to Moani missing chances is quite different. But
yeah, because Moani actually impacted the game really well when he played. Like, first of all, he bought that the goal that we scored that he got the assist from. Like, that was really good play from him, and the way he took it down and laid it on. Like, Moani did good things in the game. I think Richarlison, he got in the right places at the right time, but it's just with Richarlison. When's the last time we watched Richarlison play, and by the end of it, we're not just so fed up and frustrated with his display? That's the problem with him.
Yeah, but I think it's a lot of it is perception, in my opinion. I understand he's not in the best form, but I also think he does good things and doesn't get credit for it because he misses some chances. Whereas when Moani's like having, like, he's not been fully fit the last few games, but he's having some quiet games, yet he's getting praise because people are being less harsh on him because he's just come into the team. Whereas Richarlison has similar performances and we're just fed up with him and we're just like ready to. And then yesterday,
because we've seen years of it.
Okay, but I'm just saying there's a lot of it's perception rather than like necessarily what we're doing, what he's seeing on the pitch. I thought he came on and did make a nuisance of himself and did have some good moments. And I thought the header, which he hit the bar, was a good moment from him. It wasn't a free header. He had to beat a defender to it, and it was unfortunate. It hits the underside of the bar, and then obviously he does miss the penalty. But I thought he came on and did make a bit of a nuisance of himself. But because there's a negative feeling about Rishi and not Moani. Moani, we brush off his missed chances, and then we're critical of Rishi for missing chances. I just feel like I'm not critical of either. I think they both, made nuisance of themselves, and they both should have probably scored a goal yesterday, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, look, in terms of Dane, really, I was really annoyed he didn't take the penalty. And as I say, like, who knows if he had another opportunity to score a goal in the Champions League for Tottenham.
Well, hopefully that opportunity comes against Slavia Prague, because I think he deserves it, man.
I just don't know if it will. If Solanke's fit, we're going to have Solanke, Moani, and Rishi all fit. Where's he going to be in the squad?
Yeah, which is fair point. But like I said, like, he does seem to make an impact the majority of times he's come on. The last 3 or 4 appearances that he made, like the last time was last night, obviously made an impact. Time before that was Elfsborg, made an impact, scored a goal. Time before that, I think, was Ipswich away, came on, grabbed an assist. Like, he's made an impact for the majority of times he's had appearances at Spurs. He's a good player, man.
And there was a good trick for the. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying I don't know if he will. He's a good trick for the penalty as well.
Would you not prefer to see him get the opportunities over Richarlison now? And if not, why not?
I think Rishi's a better player.
Like, you could say he's a better player. Obviously, he's like, because he's much further on in his career. But
of course, I want to see Dane do well. So if he deserves it. If Frank feels he deserves it, I just don't know if Frank will give him that opportunity, because Rishi is still a player who's a better player right now. So he's always going to go with Rishi over Scarlett. I'd love to see Scarlett prove he's a better player than Rishi and maybe, get those opportunities, but I just don't see that happening.
You never know. I think if Richarlison keeps putting in these performances, there's no reason why Dane shouldn't go above him in the pecking order. Like, that's the reality. And if Dane makes impacts every time he comes on the pitch, then why not?
Well, if Dane played like Rishi came on, he would also say he also made an impact. You know what I mean? I'm saying Rishi did make an impact when he came on.
I mean, he got himself in a good opportunity for a couple of, for a free header, which he should have done better from.
Won some free kicks. His hold-up play was all right as well. And it wasn't a free header. He had to beat a defender to it. Would Scarlett have beaten the defender to it if he was in that position? I don't know. There was a couple of times, I have to say, he got in Scarlett's way. There was one moment, Porro plays a ball in, and Scarlett's literally ready there, waiting to head it home. And Rishi got a flick on it just before him. That was frustrating. And also, Scarlett played one into him, and his touch, he couldn't get out of his feet in the box as well. Look, I think Scarlett did well when he came on. This isn't about denigrating Scarlett. I think it was a really good cameo. I just think they both made an impact when they came on.
He should be rewarded for the impact that he made, Scarlett, and he should be considered for getting more minutes, in my opinion. And like I said, the last couple of appearances, and he always kind of makes this impact, and you don't see him again for ages. Like, if it's his last chance saloon at Tottenham, let's give him a fair crack at the whip.
Yeah, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I just don't know if it'll happen. I think if you're hoping for that, like you're setting yourself up to be disappointed, probably.
Yeah, well, you also said that about Spurs scoring a lot of goals last night, and we did.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah, you're right about that.
So, look, you never know what can happen. But I just think he deserves it, man, in my opinion. And I think he had a massive impact in the game yesterday. Would have been nice to see him take the penalty, but it wasn't to be. Let's hope he gets those chances against Slavia Prague. But also, like with Solanke coming back after the international break, we don't know how long it's going to take him to get back to real match fitness as well. So we don't know when we're going to start seeing him like regularly being able to contribute. But you do expect him to come off the bench and get some minutes there. So look, in my opinion, right now, I think Scarlett should be getting minutes ahead of Richarlison, in my opinion. But
so you want him in the rotation, like in the Premier League, like.
I would like to see him given a chance.
We're rotating Moani and Richarlison at the moment. You think we should be rotating Scarlett and Moani instead?
Yeah, I would.
I think you one start for Scarlett in the Premier League and you'll be like, okay, get Richie back, I reckon.
Maybe, but you won't know until we try it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that was 4-0 to Tottenham in the Champions League. You know, 2 games a week they're saying we can't do, and this time we didn't do it in the Premier League, but we did it in the Champions League, and we're sitting, I think, 7th in the group phase with a whole bunch of fixtures to happen tonight, which it sets us up nicely to go away to PSG. I guess you would say it's probably a give me loss in that game, but you never know what can happen.
Yeah,
you never know what can happen.
Play 3 at the back.
I'll definitely play a 3-5-2 in that game. I think it's tried and tested, so why not?
And we saw although PSG in that game, they were clearly lacking in sharpness because they just come back from their break. But they haven't been scintillating so far.
They should have got more out of the game last night, though.
Well, they were, but they were playing 10 men for a lot of it.
Yeah,
weren't they? You never know. You never know what Frank can do in these games.
Yeah, well, you say that. I mean, they are sitting 3rd in the Champions League group phase. PSG
should be top.
Yeah. So I mean, you're looking at it. In our final games, we got PSG who are 3rd. We played Dortmund who are 8th, Frankfurt who are 20th, and then Slavia Prague who are 30th. So do you think if we can go to Frankfurt and win, beat Slavia Prague, does that give us a good chance of finishing in the top 8?
For sure. Look, at the end of the day, what was it? 8 points we're on.
We're on 8 points, yeah.
You need minimum, just to give yourself a chance of getting in that top 8, you need 15. So 7 points from the next 4. Is that possible to give yourself a chance? Why not?
Yeah, look, Slavia Prague's got to be a given, a 3 point. Not, we should be winning that game. Borussia Dortmund at home. It's going to be a very difficult game. Dortmund are doing very well this season, but I think we could get a draw out of it. Frankfurt away, we've shown we can go there and win. I think we can go there and win. That's already 7 points.
Wherever we get our PSG, we get.
Yeah, and whatever. Yeah, PSG's. I wouldn't say it's a free hit, but it kind of is a free hit.
Last season you did need 16, but I think in the Europa League it was 15. So look, I think 15 is like the bare minimum. That gives yourself a chance. If you're like one guaranteed in there, you probably need like 17. I would say to like really say, yeah, we're going to be in that top 8. But I think 15. If you can aim for 15, at least you're either going to be that top 8 or you're going to be the upper echelons of the top 24, which means you're going to face a team that was low down in the playoff anyway. So you want to. So I think 15 points has to be the aim, and I think that's achievable. I think it's achievable. It's not going to be easy, but. We've given ourselves a fighting chance after the win yesterday. Yeah,
absolutely. So happy Spurs fans after that. But look, in terms of like turning the corner, in terms of our gameplay, I think you can take from the game like saying we performed very well. But I don't think you can make the real judgment until at least after this Manchester United game. Like, if we play like that against Man United and wipe the floor with them and have a really convincing win against Man United and create chance after chance like we did yesterday, I think then, a lot of Spurs fans will get very excited.
Yeah, I think we have to see in the Premier League. That's just a barefaced fact. Even anyone, we played Wolves at home and didn't barely struggle to create chances. So I think we just have to see it in the Premier League. Obviously, we want to see it on Saturday. Against Man United. We want to see it consistently. that's when you can say we've turned a corner in that sense. And also, I don't like the use of turning the corner because, in terms of how we're doing in general, results-wise, all that kind of stuff, it's like we're not doing bad. So it's not like we need to turn the corner to improve results. But yes, performance-wise, things do need to improve.
No, but there's been a lot of complaints from a lot of people about the way we're playing our football.
Yes.
And this was kind of very different to the way we've managed games all season.
Yes.
So it's turning a corner in that sense.
Yeah, but I agree with you, but the term turning the corner is usually like when a team is really struggling and losing games, then, okay, they've won this game, this is a turning the
Yeah,
corner
but that's
kind
not
of
the
thing.
way it's used here.
I understand that. I'm just saying in general, that's how it's used.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like using it here, because it gives a false impression like this is a team really struggling and this is now turning a corner for the team. But yes, is it a move forward when it comes to attacking wise and like our offensive play? And that's what I think the term I would use for this one, a step forward. But we have to see it in the Premier League, because it's all well and good doing against Copenhagen. I'm not saying it's easy to do it. I'm just saying it's a lot easier to do against Copenhagen than it is against Premier League teams. And that's the truth. So,
and let's go see it against Manchester United this weekend, guys. Let's go see it. And do you think we will?
The only thing about Man United is they're in good form. They play a 5 at the back as well, which is a system which we have struggled with against so far. So I don't know, but yeah, I hope so. Do I think we will? Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot better than Chelsea. Put it that way.
It's going to have to be, because it can't get much worse than Chelsea. Chelsea was like the bottom of the pit, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I do wonder whether he sees a change of formation against United. Does he then also change it slightly in our build-up to counteract that, or does he go with the same of what we're doing? Because, with Cunha and Buemo potentially running on a back three, which we're building up with, could be bad, but I don't know.
Yeah. They've got some forward players that are on banging form, aren't they? With Cunha and Buemo. Even Sesko's looking decent as well up front.
I also feel that if they play Ahmad wing back against us with a doggy, how he plays for us, that could be really good for us. Because if a doggy can pen him back, or even if he doesn't pen him back, if he doesn't track him back, that could be a real good source of joy for us down that left-hand side. But anyway, this isn't a preview for the United game. But I think fans are going to be happy with what they saw yesterday, and they're going to be happy with the attacking display.
Yeah.
But it's about, are you capable of doing that against better opposition? That's the question.
Yeah, and that's the next question that needs to be answered, and it's going to be answered this weekend, whether it's positive or negative. So we'll see what happens. But I think the whole stadium were buzzing yesterday. We saw something really, really special in that Mickey van der Ven goal, and a lot of things just seemed to come together yesterday. And, like I said before, like we've played kind of lesser opposition and not had such a convincing display as we did yesterday. And you've got to say, like, Copenhagen are probably 3 times a team like Doncaster is. And I know we won that game 3-0, but we looked a lot better in this one. So let's hope this is the first step forward in terms of what we all want to see in terms of an attacking setup from Tottenham Hotspur.
In terms of fans, just a quick one on the fans, though. We saw Copenhagen yesterday.
Yeah.
They were, their fans non-stop chanting, even at 4-0, non-stop chanting. Now, that's the kind of support, obviously, we're looking for, aren't we?
In the vlog, I don't know if you saw it, but I recorded their fans at 4-0 down, and they were just going absolutely mental, jumping up and down, all in synchronization and whatever. And I said it on the vlog, like, they're 4-0 down and still completely supporting their team. We can learn a lot from that.
We can, but do you ever see a situation where we're 4-0 down and doing that? Like, ever?
Maybe if we're down to 9 men and we're playing everyone on the halfway line.
Yeah, true. Maybe. Just like it was. I thought that was what I was saying before, after the Chelsea game. Like, there's a culture in Europe, like even around Europe, that's lost in the Premier League. Like, for that kind of support, it doesn't matter what the situation of the game is. But I feel like I think we're never going to have that kind of support at Tottenham, unfortunately.
Or any big team in the Premier League.
No, exactly, yeah.
So it is what it is. That's unfortunately, like, I call for fans to support the club, but even at 4-0, if we were losing 4-0 in the Champions League, like, I don't think I'll be jumping up and down and screaming. But look, it's commendable. It's commendable to the Copenhagen fans. But look, that's our match review. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. We've got a couple of super chats to get into before we move on to player ratings. Mr. Brian Daigle, members chat.
Come on.
It says 60th month. 60th month as a member.
60th month. Bloody hell, Brian.
It says 5 years being a member of the flagship channel, and my brothers from another mother. Love you both, and here's to the next 5 years. Thomas, Frank,
Choo,
Brian.
choo.
Brian must have been absolutely buzzing yesterday.
He was loving life yesterday. Absolutely loving life.
Big up to you, Brian. C9 Manic 959 says, everyone comparing Mickey to Son. I saw Bale versus Inter. The man is rapid. Holy cow. We might have to play him in attack at this rate. And he's been a member for 7 months.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I know the goal was pretty much a replica of Son, but the way he was running reminded me much more of Bale.
The thing is about Van der Ven as well, like, if you just look at him without seeing him play, you wouldn't think, like, he has that kind of running style.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Because he's so tall. So usually players are that tall. No, he's the Haaland of centre-backs.
Yeah.
The Haaland of centre-backs.
And Carl with the super chat says, Van der Ven's goal looked like he put in a cheat code, literally.
I know, it's like, back in the day in FIFA when you like bring on a guy with 99 pace with 20 minutes to go, and like the other players just can't do anything. You just hold down run and they can't do anything. Just reminded me of that.
It's like back in the PES days.
Yeah, exactly. So good. It was like watching a FIFA game, that goal. It was crazy.
Yeah, I was such a privilege to be there to see that goal, I swear. Go on, let's get into player ratings then. And obviously we won 4-0 against Copenhagen in the Champions League. First up, we're going to be rating Guillermo Vicario. Sim gives him a 6. I gave him a 7. I give him a 7 because I think he dealt with everything that came his way just admirably well. Like, I thought he was so strong when the crosses came in. He seemed to gobble up every single one. Every save that he had to make was pretty much routine. You expect, like, there was no chance for them to score on anyone. And he's starting to do this thing now where he just goes down and buys Spurs a bit more time, and very kind of like Jose Mourinho-esque kind of dark arts play, which I'm all there for. But yeah, I mean, the main reason I give him the 1 mark up is because of the way he handled the crosses. Yeah,
and that's just something as well which goes under the radar. We haven't had to talk for a while about his ability from set pieces, because he's been handling them pretty comfortably for a while now. But yeah, I love that, what you're saying about him going down, faking an injury. Look, you got to use every advantage you can, and the rule is if a goalkeeper goes down injured, you can't ask them to go off because it's a specialised position. So, you know, Frank's clearly taken advantage of that. He's done it against Chelsea. You saw what happened against Chelsea is he went down, the whole team went over to Frank, and he got the ball down. He's like, okay, we're going to do this corner differently. And you actually saw them do the corner set up differently after he had that talk. And in this game, obviously, we got the red card. So Frank's like, Vicario, go on, do your thing, go down. He's clutching his hamstring. Apparently, they were saying on commentary, Kinski didn't even flinch after when Vicario went down. So you could tell it was clearly just orchestrated. Frank,
I'll tell you what, though, I was having a panic attack in the stadium. He goes down holding his hamstring. I'm like, you can see in the vlog, like, I put it in, it's just like, oh shit, like, if there's one player that I don't want to get injured now, it's Vicario.
And he didn't need not worry. And and it obviously it worked, because they had a few words of Frank, and bam, we went up and scored 2 goals. So yeah, Vicario, keep doing your thing.
Yeah. Coutinho Romero up next. Sim gives him a 7. I gave him an 8. And he just makes so much of a difference, in my opinion. The way we can progress ball from the back, he's just so central to it. At 3-0 down as well, he's at the other end of the pitch in the opposition box, getting a brilliant assist for us. Yeah, I thought he was brilliant.
To be fair, I probably should have given him an 8. I only gave him 7 because he just didn't have that much defending to do. But to be fair, when he did have to do it, it was fantastic. He just, you can see the hesitation.
If he's out of Exton at the end of this month, he ought to blame.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. He, you can see the hesitation in the Copenhagen attackers to even engage him, because they know what's coming once you go near Romero. And absolutely fantastic. There's a couple of times where he just absolutely battered the ball straight at the Copenhagen players. Like, here you go, have that, and won a goal kick. And on the ball, obviously got an assist on the day as well. Brilliant assist for Paulinho. Very difficult pass, actually. Goes under the radar how difficult that pass was. So, well played, Romero.
Yeah, Mickey van der Ven, Mickey van der Bale, Mickey Villa, Son de Ven. Oh my God, what? Lionel Mickey, whatever you want to say. Sim gives him a 9. I gave him a 10, and he has to have a 10 after that goal, man. Absolutely one of the goals of the season, one of the best goals I've ever seen in a Spurs shirt. Literally, it was just incredible. Picks up the ball on the edge of his own box. Within seconds, he's on the edge of the opposition box after beating 5 or 6 men and finishes like he's buddy Harry Kane. It was just incredible. Absolutely incredible. And aside from the goal, I don't think he put a foot wrong the whole game. So he has to get a 10, surely.
Yeah, I should have given him a 10. I only gave him a 9. What can I do? I made my bars a little higher for a 10. He needs to do it twice to get a 10. But yeah, special goal, special player. What a moment. It's one of those moments you're not going to forget anytime soon. It's one of those things that just stand out. I think it's going to go down in Champions League history. It's probably one of the best goals ever scored in that competition. Go down in history in any competition of one of the best goals scored by a defender as well. Unbelievable. And as you say, like, especially that moment, it doesn't get credit as well. The fact we're down to 10 men, we could be under a bit of pressure at that point, with half an hour still to play. And he's just like, I'm just going to take this upon myself. I'm going to do it all myself. And what a goal. And great performance.
Is there any other centre-back in world football, in history, that can do that?
No.
Like, name me one other centre-back that's capable of doing that. I can't think of one.
No. He's special. No one is capable of. No one has that pace. No one has the ability to do that. It's incredible, and it's mad. He plays for Tottenham Hotspur.
Thomas Franklin in the comments says, "Sim, surrender to the 10. The people have spoken."
All right, 10. You can have a 10. You can have a 10.
Next up is Pedro Porro. 8's all round for Pedro, and yeah, look, I've criticised his passing in recent weeks, but this this game, it was back on point. To be honest, his switches of play were brilliant. He created a number of chances throughout the game and obviously laid a couple on the plate for Richarlison in the second half. So, yeah, Pedro Porro was back at it.
Yeah, much better, less wasteful, creating chances, much better performance from him. Good corners as well. No complaints. I think the position suits him when he's playing that 3 at the back. So, good stuff.
And Destiny Udogie, he gets an 8 all-round as well. Again, like, he just offers so much more different of a threat to Jed Spence when he's out on that left-hand side. The way he can just tug the touchline a bit and spread the pitch a bit more and attack our play going forward. I think he's brilliant, to be honest. And, we've had a lot of conversations here about who's the better left-back, Spence or Udogie. And I think I'm more coming on to your kind of way of thinking about Udogie now, because I do think he is the better left-back. But I do think with Jed Spence, like, if we moved him over to right-back, we might see better attacking displays from him.
I agree. I think it really hampers him anyway, but it's about Udogie. I think it just makes the team so much more better balanced. I think it gives us an extra threat. You can just see it on the pitch. You've got Udogie, you've got Odebear and Javi there, and you've got Udogie being like a de facto winger, getting to the touchline, getting those cutbacks, stretching the play. When Spence is there, we're just missing that. We're not having that player get to the byline and being so direct, and that's what Udogie gives you, just that extra attacking threat, and it's so much harder for the opposition to deal with. And it makes it a lot more unpredictable, because we've got these little interchanges on the edge of the box, and then Udogie's, firing down the touchline as well. And he's starting to do his underlapping runs as well recently, which is quite encouraging. So I think Udogie makes such a difference on the left-hand side, makes our attack so much more unpredictable, and brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was brilliant. And I think he did kind of tire in the second half a little bit of Udogie, but it's kind of explainable with the amount of football he's missed and that horrible story with Udogie that he was, from a football agent, pulled out a gun on him. Like, what the hell is the world coming to?
Yeah, crazy. I don't know if it was his agent or...
I don't know. Nothing's been confirmed about that.
Surprised he's able to play.
It's like a football agent has pulled out a gun on a Premier League footballer. Like, what the world is coming to?
It's nuts.
Madness.
And imagine having to play in a high level football after that kind of incident
and put in performance like that.
Crazy, yeah. So fair play to him. It goes to show his mentality.
Next up is Pape Matar. 7's around for Pape. Really good display. I think step in the right direction after a couple of poor displays from him. I felt like he was fairly quiet for the most part, but what he was doing was covering a lot of ground, enabling the other players to do exactly what they need to do, putting the opposition under pressure. When we did go down to 10 men, I thought he sparked into life, to be honest, where he made a real positive impact. So I was really happy with Pape.
Yeah, I think maybe not as maybe lively on the ball as some of the other players, but I thought the amount of ground he was covering, the amount of times he was winning the ball inside the Copenhagen half and just allowing us to sustain the pressure was really good. And as you say, he really earned his money. When we went down to 10 men, it was almost as if like we didn't, because the amount of running he was doing. He was like running for an extra player. So that was obviously massively beneficial.
Rodrigo Bentancur up next. Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 9. In the 6, much different performance that we've seen in the 6 this season, where he was protecting that back four really well. He was putting in challenge after challenge. I think he completely dominated the midfield. But instead of seeing this sideways, backwards kind of motion that we've seen for the majority of the game, he was getting it forward, penetrating passes, and really helping us kind of build attacks. So I think this is Rodrigo Bentancur's best performance in the Spurs shirt this season.
Yeah, rolling back the years, some people are saying. And again, I think we've seen a few more composure moments of Bentancur in recent games, but the passing has been definitely missing from him. That ability to always look forward and look for players in between the lines. We definitely saw that a lot yesterday. And I thought his kind of anticipation for passes to Copenhagen players and his interceptions and duels winning was really great. Much better than it's been in other games. Maybe that kind of increased defensive responsibility of being the main 6 brought that out of him, but he was really, really dominant in the midfield. So brilliant from him.
Xavi Simons up next. 9s all round for Xavi. Brilliant performance from him. He was pulling the strings in the first half, particularly. Obviously gets the assist for Brennan Johnson, lays 2 on a plate for Randall Kolo Muani as well, which he should be doing better from. But he was just getting himself involved time and time again. Looked so threatening, so dangerous throughout. He got taken off at the hour mark, but that first hour was a joy to behold. And I think you're starting to see signs of life in Xavi Simons. Yes, it's only against Copenhagen, and yes, he was kind of given a lot of space to operate in, which definitely helped him. I want to see him kick on now and do it in the Premier League, but as hopefully this is kind of a building block for him and he can build confidence. And you saw his confidence kind of build throughout that game, and hopefully it's a sign of things to come.
Hey, you saw his confidence, you saw his quality. He's got players getting closer to him who can play off and play with. The little one touches around the corner, the little... You saw that one moment in the box. This is what I was saying about Xavi. Against Chelsea, right? He gets the ball, beats a player, but then has like 30, 40 yards to go just to get to the penalty box and gets tackled. This time, you saw that moment when he's link up Vodebed, does a 1-2, then beats a player, but he's in the box this time. So he can pick out Muani, and obviously he should have slotted it home. But those little moments make a difference. He's got to be doing those little tricks and those little feints nearer the box rather than doing it on a halfway line, which he's been doing in recent games, which is maybe causing frustration. Not only that, we're getting him the ball a lot more. We're getting him the ball a lot more in more dangerous areas, so he's able to try more things. So if he wastes a ball, if he misplaces a pass, it's not a big deal. When you're getting him the ball on the edge of the box once or twice a game, if he misplaces a pass, there's going to be a lot more frustration because he's only getting it once or twice. But if he's getting it like yesterday, 7, 8, 9 times near the box in the half, it doesn't matter if he wastes 1 or 2, because he's going to get another 6, 7 chances to make something happen. And he did make something happen. He got that assist, brilliant assist for Brennan. He created 2 chances for Muani. He was an absolute breath of fresh air, and he was a little spark in the central midfield. So showed his quality, showed his confidence, and hopefully this is a big difference for him personally. But I think it's just more about the team getting him the ball more.
Next up, Wilson Odobert. Sim gives him an 8. Well, it says Brian gave him an 8, but it was actually me that gave him an 8. But yeah, Wilson Odobert, like Bentancur, I thought was his best display of the season so far. Wilson, constant threat on that left-hand side, got his goal as well, which we've been calling for him to do because he's looked threatening and dangerous in the last couple of games that he started, but hasn't been able to show that quality to get a goal and an assist. Gets a goal in this one, really good positional play to get that one. But look, I thought like he was involved in a lot of the good moves that Spurs were putting together. Nice little intricate play, touching a move, passing a move. So I was really happy with Wilson. And it seems that Wilson is kind of really is growing.
Yeah, his confidence is really growing, isn't it? And he's looking sharper with every performance. Obviously, he had a little knock against Monaco. This was his first start, I believe, since then. And he looks like he's picked up where he left off because he was looking sharper and sharper in those other games as well. Really liked how he was getting nearer to Xavi as well. They were linking up, although they were getting in each other's way sometimes. But I think when they clicked, they were looking absolutely in synergy and dynamite. The thing I love most about Odegaard when he's on the pitch, though, is that dynamic he has with the doggy when they're together. I think it's so hard to stop, and it makes it so much more unpredictable when them two are together. It makes a world of difference to that left wing, in my opinion. So, yeah, much better from Odegaard. Nice finish, composed finish as well. Was an easy goal, but still has to finish it off, and he did. So, gets his first goal of the season, and hopefully that's first of many.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think we do have to persist with him on the left wing for the game on the weekend at least. Next up is Brennan Johnson. Yeah, Brennan Johnson. Sim gives him a 6. I gave him a 7. Look, I think he is looking more threatening than what he was doing at the beginning stage of the season. This last couple of games now, he's provided a real threat for us out on that right-hand side. Gets his goal with, you know what? I know it's an open goal, but it's actually a lot harder than people make out. He's hitting it from quite a large distance out, and he's got to get accurate from an angle. So he does really well to finish it. And I thought he wasn't as much of a constant threat as maybe Odegaard was throughout the game, but I thought he did well in terms of at points taking on his defender and just making a general nuisance of himself. But he did get sent off. I thought it was harsh. But he gave the referee a decision to make, and unfortunately it went against him, and he's now out for the next 3 games. Yeah,
it was harsh, but it was also a stupid challenge. So you can look at it both ways. But yeah, he was unfortunately sent off. But yeah, he was a good threat on that right-hand side, stretched the plate, did what he does best, which was put the ball in the back of the net, and was a really tight finish. I know the keeper makes a mess of the whole situation, but he's still got to take it past him calmly. First of all, make the run, which he did, take it past the keeper calmly, and slot it home into the empty net from a tight angle. So fair play, nice goal. And also, a couple of times, which we've been calling Brennan to do, he faces up his fullback and then takes him on and goes to the byline. And then he reminded me very reminiscent of Aaron Lennon, a few of his moves.
Come on.
Very quick to the byline and a little clip to the back post. And he did that a few times.
I think twice he did it, yeah.
So that is something I want to see him do more. He's got to be more confident in his own speed and his own ability to have that little burst of pace down the line. So that was better.
So he had 2 dribbles and 2 successful dribbles yesterday, Brennan Johnson, which is a massive step in the right direction for him.
From 0.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was really encouraging. But yeah, unfortunately, that red card obviously stopped his game prematurely.
Yeah. Next up is the last of the starting 11, which is Randall Kolo Muani. Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 7. Obviously, the big talking point from his performance was the 2 big chances that he missed. He's got to put at least one of those away. Like, come on. Like, Xavi puts both on a plate for him, and he's got to be doing better from that aspect. But I think aside from those 2 finishes, I really like what he's adding to this team. He's adding aggression from the forward line. His pressing and his work rate is really good. And he added quality with the assist as well. The way he took that down and found Wilson Odegaard, I thought was fantastic. But he just seems to never give the defenders a moment's rest. He's always on them like a flash. So I really like what he's adding to this team. And I think when you compare him to the other options that we have at number 9 at the moment, I think he's a level apart at the moment.
Yeah, and I am really liking what I'm seeing from Muani. I think those 2 misses obviously were frustrating, but what I really liked about him is there was a couple of times in this game where he was second favourite for a challenge. The ball goes near the defender, and it's probably 60-40 for the defender. And he worked hard enough to basically muscle the defender, and then all of a sudden it became a chance for Tottenham. And obviously the first one, it was in the first half, it created an opportunity. And the second one was obviously the goal, where he's not favourite for that ball. The goalkeeper should really be getting there, but he just doesn't give up. He continues running. He puts the pressure on the keeper and creates an up goal from it. So that was obviously really great. I also really liked him when we were down to 10 men. I thought when we were down to 10 men, he just allowed Tottenham to always be that little threat in on the counter and that threat in behind as well. And that endeavour of when we just put a ball into the channels and make him chase after it. He's got the pace and the power to close defenders down and win those duels. So that was really impressive. The only thing I would say is definitely he'll be disappointed he didn't get at least a goal in this game. Because it wasn't just those 2 chances. In the second half, he had a number of opportunities, which the goalkeeper did a lot better with, actually, to score. So that was frustrating from him, but very, very encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to the substitutes. First sub that came on was João Palhinha, 8s all round. And how great is it? Spurs go down to 10 men and we've got the option to bring on João Palhinha off the bench. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And he comes on the 61st minute. By the 67th minute, he's got a goal and assist, which is incredible. João Palhinha, it's not something you associate. You know what, though? That goal don't happen. Like, that Son goal can happen without Vertonghen because it was just like Palhinha wins the ball back. So that goal actually doesn't happen without João Palhinha. Even though, Van de Ven obviously did all the work for the goal. But so he got the assist and the goal as well. He makes that run. You're down to 10 men, right? You think, all right, we're just going to hold off. And who are the 2 players in the opposition box? João Palhinha and Cuti Romero. You just can't make this stuff up. So he gambles and he makes the run and he gets the rewards and gets a goal. So and it's not just that. I thought he was winning the ball back countless amount of times for us in the middle of the park as well, as João Palhinha is always going to do. So it was a fantastic cameo from him.
Yeah, I agree. And I think he's the perfect kind of player to bring on in that situation when you're down to 10 men. Someone who basically does the running of 2 players. So you kind of had Sar and Palhinha both in the running for 2 players. So it was always like we had an extra man all of a sudden when Palhinha comes on. His ability to just get himself involved in duels and win tackles and break up play is astonishing. But yeah, he had the bravery to as well attack the box when we needed him to. Got his goal. Was an excellent cameo and just what we needed and at just the right time, I felt.
Next up is Richarlison, 5s all round for Rishi. Look, again, the talking point is the missed chance that he had where Porro puts in a lovely cross from him and the header rattles against the crossbar. And then obviously the penalty where, look, he is the penalty taker on the pitch, so you can understand why he took it. A lot of fans wanted Scarlett to take it. But look, it is what it is. Richarlison is desperate need for a goal, desperate needs for a confidence boost. And when you need a confidence boost, it's not great to miss a penalty. He rattles across the crossbar. And it's just unfortunate for him, and it's just another frustrating performance from Richarlison.
Yeah, I thought he came on and obviously put himself about. He did have that header with the, which obviously hit the underside of the bar. I thought it was a good header, which he was unlucky with. I thought he did some good hold-up play stuff, but then he also did get in Scarlett's way a few times, which was quite frustrating when Scarlett maybe could have had the opportunity to score or even get an assist, and he kind of screwed up a couple of times, and then he took the penalty off Scarlett and hit the bar with it. So I think it was an unlucky cameo, but as well, it was a frustrating one in the sense that he kind of got in Scarlett's way a few times, especially with the penalty. So I marked him down for that.
Dane Scarlett up next, 7s all round for Diamond Dane. I was really impressed when I saw when he came on and the work that he did. He just works really hard, and he seems to have got a bit of body mass on him now, and he can put himself about physically. And the way he won that penalty, man, is not to be understated, because it actually looked like he lost the ball, and then he wins it back, and then he wins the penalty and gets taken down in the box. So I thought it was absolutely fantastic play from him, and he just causes a nuisance of himself. So he was very impressive when he came on.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good cameo, and as you say, he was second to that ball because it was a ball over the top from Porro. He has to take a touch and then out-muscle Suzuki, then do a little trick to nutmeg him and cut inside and win the penalty. So that was good play. I thought he looked bright. He set up Richarlison for a chance, who kind of couldn't get the ball out of his feet. And he obviously came on to make an impact, and I thought he did well. So fair play to him. Good cameo.
Jed Spence up next, 6s around for Jed. I mean, he was getting up and down that left-hand side a bit, but yeah, I don't really remember too much that he did.
Yeah, well, look, we were down to 10 men, so it wasn't like we were dominating the ball like we were in the first half, but he came on and did his job. Obviously a doggy provides something different, but he provided what he provided when he came on.
Yeah. I feel bad because we've given Spence a rating, we've given Scarlett a rating, but Danso came on before Scarlett, and we haven't given Danso a rating.
I mean,
but I don't remember Danso doing anything, to be honest, so I'll just give him a 6, yeah. But Thomas Frank, last but not least, 8s all round for big Thomas Frank. And look, all of the critics that he had after the Chelsea game and for a lot of the season, I think he answered some of them in terms of this game, because we wanted to see an attacking display. We wanted to see us create chances. And on the back of creating a 0.05 XG, what was the XG in this game? It must have been over 3. 3.3. So you can't ask for much more than a 3.3 XG on the back of that Chelsea game. So that was very positive. He got the attacking patterns of play. You're starting to see it kind of form now. And I think all the tactical setups and tactical things that he put into this game were brilliant, to be honest, and you got a lot of players performing at a very high level yesterday. Look, it is only Copenhagen and bigger tests yet to come. Manchester United on the weekend, we want to see it there, but as a starting block after that Chelsea game, it was a great way to respond.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a fantastic performance, and I think he got all the dynamics which everyone wanted on the pitch. He got them on in one game, and you saw the difference it made. The attacking intent was there. He clearly had. He clearly made it a thing in the dressing room. Look, we need to show the fans tonight, but we can go forward. The intent is to attack, and we can do it in numbers, and we did that yesterday. So credit to him. I also think the way he managed the team at 10 men when we got Brendan Johnson sent off was fantastic as well. That was also really impressive from him, the way we responded to going down to 10 men. So really good day at the office for Thomas Frank. But as you say, turning point is the wrong term. I think step forward would be the right one, because we need to see it in the Premier League.
Yeah. All right, so that is our player ratings. Do you agree? Let us know in the comment section below. Put your player ratings in the comments section below. But Spurs have won 4-0 in the Champions League, which I believe is 1 goal below our best ever. What was it? Red Star
5-0.
Belgrade against Red Star Belgrade. Was that away? That was at home.
That was at home. Yeah, under Mourinho actually.
Yeah. So we move on and we go and see how the internet did react to the big 4-0 win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yesterday. And first up are a few tweets. All right, let's go and see how the internet did react. And first up are a few tweets from Tottenham Hotspur. First one is momentum building. So this is a few social media messages from some of our players. This is from Kuti Romero. Says, great match from the whole squad today. We've got to keep grinding and getting better, but this is the way to go.
This is the way.
He always says that.
This is the way. Love it.
Mickey van der Ven says, well, that was a nice goal. And then Jed Spence says, average goal, mate.
Mickey can do better. He's got to shoot from the halfway line next time.
João Polinia says, vibe, Champions League vibes.
Nice. Big up to João.
And Javi Simmons says, nothing done yet. Let's keep working hard. And Madders replied to that saying, top today, son.
Madders would have been proud of that performance. It was Madders-esque.
Yeah, absolutely. Tottenham tweeted out this classic meme, the Spider-Man one with the glasses. So obviously...
Everyone's been tweeting out the Spider-Man meme yesterday.
Yeah, because it's just like there's no better kind of reason to tweet this out. This is like the perfect time for this meme.
Yeah, and it was mad how similar the goals were. It's actually crazy, like the similarities and where they picked the ball up and just what kind of area of the pitch they were striding through the players as well.
Yeah, and when Son scored that goal, you're thinking we're never going to see a goal like that again.
Never. That's one in a million, and there you go. Now we've got Van der Ven to enjoy as well.
Never mind the same team in the same stadium as well. It's crazy. And next one from Tottenham is the Simmons.
I love that. Absolutely love that. Do you reckon it was made by AI? Oh no, Steph Art. Fair play. Not AI. There you go. Love it. I'll watch that show.
Yeah, me too. Alex THFC says, this is Vicario's last 4 games, 8.5, 8.9, 8.6 and 9.4.
It's one way to respond.
Yeah.
Why is he in blue in 8.5 but green in 8.6? Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, that's one way to respond to critics. And he has been good. I mean, 8.5 is a bit of a stretch yesterday.
I know, you gave him a 6.
Not because he didn't do anything. He didn't have to do much.
ONTHFC says Van de Ven is like Vertonghen on crack.
That's a good way of putting it, I think. Just a Vertonghen, but like super speed.
Yeah, unbelievable. I'd love to see Van de Ven whip out the Jan celebration once.
He's taking like the superhero serum.
Yeah. Opta Analyst says, proper hold my beer moment for Mickey Van de Ven. What a run. Look at that,
We're
man.
down to 10 men. We need to go, Mickey. And he's like, hold my beer. I think they've stolen a few yards from him. He started nearer the line, didn't he?
Yeah, I
they've
think so.
stolen a few. What was that about?
Isn't that where like Jalpini tackled him from?
Exactly. Doing him dirty there.
I think so.
Unbelievable.
Spurs Express. Mickey Van de Ven carried the ball 67.7 metres for his goal last night. The longest run with the ball on record since 15-16 for a Champions League goal.
Wow. That's how rare and special it was.
Spurs Army says, a word on Dane Scarlett. He always seems to make an impact whenever he comes onto the pitch. It's quite telling that Tottenham kept him around, and I also believe there is still a very decent player in there too. So Copenhagen won a penalty, 10-minute cameo. Fulham, 10-minute cameo. I'm not sure what that is supposed to mean.
That was last season.
Yeah. Ipswich, assist, 60-minute cameo. Brentford, 11-minute cameo. Elfsborg, a goal and an assist in a 24-minute cameo.
Look, as much as I don't think it's telling we kept him around. I think we wanted to loan him, but couldn't really find a club, unfortunately. But look, I think there is a good player in there. And I think he needs... Look, either he gets some sort of opportunity here, or he needs to go somewhere where he's going to be playing regularly. And I think there is going to be a good player there.
Cast your mind back to when Mourinho gave him that debut at 16, like, saying, I wanted to give this guy debut because of the talent that he has. And also, like, when we were watching him, do you remember when we were watching him in Korea a couple of years ago? We were like, this guy is like, he's got one of the best finishing in the squad. Like, brilliant. So he's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, he definitely does. It's just about why it hasn't worked out so far, but
still young though. He's still very young.
Oh, for sure. But you know, he's 21. You've got to get your career up and going. I think we saw the same with Troy Parra. Like at some point, you just got to get your career up and running.
Yeah.
And now it is, and he's doing well in the Dutch league. But it's about whether Scarlett wants to keep hanging on to the dream of playing for Tottenham and trying to see if it can work, or is it time to say, look, I'm 21. I need to get my career up and going, because if he continues, he can't have like another year like this, really. And
so I do agree with you, but that's why I want to see him get a few more minutes just for Spurs this season to see one last chance for him at Spurs this season.
Yeah, I'd like to see it as well.
Next up, Great Game says the many faces of chasing Van der Man. look at this defender. Look at these struggling faces, man.
He is puffing and he can't get anywhere near him. Look how much pain he's in. I love that. It's so funny. And Van der Ven's like barely breaking stride. It's so good. Barely breaking a sweat.
Spurs Army saying Mickey Van der Bale. Oh, I love this picture.
This is the goal. It reminded me. I know Bale only really took on one player, but it reminded me of that. Just how easy and how strong he is with his upper body strength as well.
Well, that's the one where he went off the pitch for Barcelona, right? Yeah.
His
against
running
Barcelona.
style reminded me a lot of Bale.
Yeah. No context, Tottenham. So this is the same as Jed Spence just commenting on Mickey Van der Ven's post saying average goal, mate.
Classic.
Tottenham tweeted this out saying no player has created more big chances in any Champions League game this season than Javi Simons yesterday. 4 chances created, 3 duels won, 1 assist.
Well, there you go. And that goes to show the level of chances he was creating yesterday. So, you know, and give him the opportunity to show his quality, and he can do it. And it was a very, very exciting performance from Javi.
Dahlia07, Sonny commenting on Mickey's goal yesterday. And he said, wow, just wow.
The OG, the original. And when he's impressed with that, you know it's a good goal.
Yeah, Sonny must be watching that being like, am I watching my own goal here? Like, what is going on?
Why are they replaying my goal? What's going on?
Crazy. Yes.
Do you reckon you think I'm the only one who should be able to do that?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Taking my thunder if you get the Puskas. But
it's just crazy, like literally carbon copies. StatMuse FC says goals this season. Mickey Van der Ven 6, Victor Gyökeres 6. Van der Ven is a centre-back.
The Haaland of centre-backs.
Yeah,
Victor
Gyökeres was coming off the back of like scoring like 50 goals in a season or something.
Does Gyökeres score that chance? Just put him in front of that in that chance. I think that.
What, without the run?
It. Yeah, without the run.
No, he doesn't.
Incredible.
So look at this angle of the goal. This is brilliant. Can we make this in full screen? This is just an unbelievable thing, you look at the two players there,
Yeah, I know,
the
their head
doggy
in the
there,
hand,
with
even
their hands in
before.
their hand like that. They're like, what the hell are we watching here?
What has he just done? And the finish pinpoint. I love it. Vicario was supposed to be injured a few moments ago. Now he's sprinting the whole length of the pitch. If he had any fears about whether he was actually injured or not, I think that puts to bed any thoughts of it. Because he was holding his hamstring, and all of a sudden he's doing a full sprint to catch up with Van der Ven. Absolutely phenomenal.
Where he picks it up from, Van der Ven.
There's Vicario.
Vicario, man.
Yeah, where he picks it up. Edge of the box.
It's literally on the line. So that graphic did do him dirty.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. And how we finished it from there as well. That's not an easy finish.
Not at all.
That is not an easy finish.
Not at all. Mitch Fretton says, the silence in the stadium says it all. You just knew Rishi was missing.
Yeah, shame for him. Off the bar. Just went too hard, didn't he? Too desperate to score it. It is what it is. What can you say?
Kane from the lane saying that Dane Scarlett cameo.
Tears in my eyes. Tears.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I hope we see him, but my only point was there's a chance we won't, and that's even more why I think I wanted Scarlett to take it, because I don't know how many more opportunities he's going to get to score in a Tottenham shirt. But look, I really hope Frank does give him an opportunity.
Spurs Express, this is Mickey on Instagram saying, well, that was a nice goal.
Yeah. So that happened.
Spurs Army says, Destiny Doggy in shock before Mickey Van der Ven even put the ball in the back of the net.
Unbelievable. Look,
the doggy's like, nah, do I need to bust a lung to get forward and try get any sort of pass or give him an overlap or something? He's like, nah, there's no chance I'm catching up with that.
Do you think Mickey even had any thought of squaring it to Moani right there?
Well, he said in the interview that, it was in his mind, but then he needed to make a decision. He's like, nah, I'm just going for this.
I'm going for this. This is my moment.
Javi Simmons on X saying, nothing done yet. Let's keep working hard.
I like that mentality. Nothing done yet.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. Don't want to get ahead of yourselves. Lily
White Rose says, we look far better team with Destiny in it. And that's so true.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's just reality, unfortunately, for Jed. Because I think Destiny just gives us something that he just either he can't or he just doesn't. One of the two.
Tottenham tweeted out Javi, shaky cows with Brennan.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that was a great goal.
That's also Brennan. Yeah, Brennan's first Champions League goal. So big up to him.
Yeah.
And red card.
Spurs Watcher. This is the red card. So if you look at that snapshot, it does look very bad, doesn't it?
I know, and I think the worst thing about it is if you look at it, it's how the player's foot is twisted. You can see it kind of twisted, and so it could have been very dangerous. I think if it didn't twist like that, maybe he gets away with it. So he's a bit unfortunate, but I also don't think that snapshot does the challenge justice of how unfortunate Brennan was.
Next up is Spurs pictures that go hard. I love this picture. Just Odebear and Moani just screaming at each other.
Love that. Big sense of relief for Odebear to get his first goal of the season as well. Who's that with his hand up there? Sarr. Love that in the background as well. That's great.
Up to Joe says, Brennan Johnson is the first ever British player to score and be sent off in the same Champions League game. Brexit.
I love that. Brexit. Wow, first ever British player. What a record. These are the records we should be doing.
Spurs always creating records. Spurs Global says Tottenham Hotspur Stadium continues to be a European fortress. Look at that. Last 22 games at home.
Who says we have a bad home record, eh?
It's mad, isn't it? Because in the Premier League, it's like the opposite to what it is in Europe.
In Europe, yeah, I know. Obviously, there's a lot of Europa League games in there, but yeah, look, we're tough place to go when it comes to European football.
So who was the last European team we lost to at home?
I think Leipzig.
Wow, Leipzig, really, COVID times.
I think
that was
so.
Literally the start of COVID.
Pretty sure it was Leipzig, yeah. Because I think Conference League we didn't lose at home. We did lose away.
No, did we lose to Milan or was that 0-0? That was
0-0. Yeah. We didn't lose at home under Conte in the Champions League. Europa League under Mourinho, I don't think we lost at home. So I think it was that Leipzig, and that Leipzig game was 2020, March 2020.
Yeah. And we had crazy injuries, didn't we?
Yeah.
Kane, Son, Dele, everyone was out. Yeah. Spurs Global, what a photo. I love this piece. Spence.
Jed, absolutely loving it. He doesn't give a shit. He's going on the pitch and celebrating. Love that.
Tottenham Hotspur petered out. Quality. Love that from João Palidia.
Porro coming in from behind.
This was Javi picking up his Man of the Match award yesterday, and well deserved for him, man.
Yeah, and I'm happy for him because he went off on the hour very disappointed because obviously he wanted to carry on. He was playing well. So I'm delighted for him that he got recognition of how good he actually did play from UEFA. I don't know why the video's not loading, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a Twitter video, not the greatest sometimes.
Yeah. So the next are the stats behind Javi's game. 61 minutes played, 1 assist, 32 accurate passes, which was 96%. 4 big chances created, 3 key passes, and a Player of the Match award as well. Stunning performance, and it's something that he desperately needed.
Yeah, he just needed that shot on the arm of confidence, and hopefully also the belief within the fan base that this isn't just a dud we've bought, which some people seem to think. So, yeah, it's good.
Next is Cuti Romero on Instagram, which we've already covered, so we can move on to the next one, which is Pedro Porro's performance today. That's lovely to see. That really is. Look at that pass map.
Yeah, much. Yeah, and also it's not just like directed down the like you see those switches of play. He's so good at those. It's very so accurate, and that's sort of been that was like a staple of how Trent used to play as well. So that really helps open up the play when you got the ball and you're able to switch it with such accuracy. That's really good.
10 successful progressive passes, 2 out of 3 take-ons as well.
That's great.
Alistair Gold said the attendance tonight at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is 49,565. That is really poor for a Champions League game, man.
Yeah, I know. It just goes to show the pricing model and how it's not going to get. But I think there's a lot of things that contribute to this. It's the only members you can transfer tickets to. And it's also the price, how much the tickets cost. How much was the ticket for yesterday?
So in the South Stand, I think the ticket was between 50 and 60 quid.
Okay, so yeah, but like Copenhagen at home.
Category C, like for like teams like Copenhagen, Slavia Prague, they need, yeah, exactly.
20, 30 quid,
and people say, yeah, but it's Champions League, but you're playing Europa League level opposition.
Like in Copenhagen, like no one wants to pay big money for that.
And you know what they've done as well, like Dortmund was Category A. Mm-hmm. So very slyly, without saying anything, they've actually downgraded that to a Category B because they're scared of this happening again.
And it might happen because even Category B, that's going to be 70, 80 quid.
Yeah.
So people are going to pay that. We'll see.
Depends how big the game is as well.
Yeah, true. But I mean, that's 12,000 people. It's 12,000 empty seats yesterday. That's really disappointing.
Yeah.
13,000 even.
Simply Spurs says Van der Ven randomly deciding he wants to win the Puskas.
I feel like winning the Puskas now. I think I'm going to do it now. Yeah.
Simon Jimenez says, "Oh, I like this." So what is this? He's
so this is a new setup that we've been talking about. Is you can just see it here plainly. Johnson on the right, Xavi, Colo, Doggy, and Odebert was more out left on this side on this time. But this is like what people have been talking about with our new build-up. Frank actually talked about it in his interview with Tottenham Spurs TV, saying the players are getting more used to our 3-2-5 / he called it /316. So maybe that's also part of it, which we're trying to get another player in the attacking lineup. I'm guessing that would have been Sarr in this occasion, but yeah, since we've moved here, on the ball in general, it's looked a lot better. Against Chelsea, I feel like he abandoned it against Chelsea. I don't know why, but he did. And it was back to normal in this game. And this is what it looks like.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. XG philosophy. 3.58 XG from Tottenham to a 0.32 XG conceded against Copenhagen.
Yeah, much better.
And that's it. I mean, Javi Simons created 3 big chances in the first half versus Copenhagen, the most registered by a Tottenham player in a single Champions League game since 16-17.
Oh, wow.
It's got to be Ericsson.
Surely.
Or maybe even Delhi, but who knows. But yeah, that is the way the internet did react to the game yesterday. Lovely stuff. I think all Spurs fans can breathe a sigh of relief. We can calm down a little bit, and let's hope we'll go into that Man United game with a good feeling now, and let's go there and take 3 points from the game.
Yeah, absolutely. that's what we got to do. We got to build on a bit of momentum now. Harness that. Don't just revert back to how we were playing before. Be braver. Look, and even if we lose to United, right? As long as I'm seeing us attempting to play like we did yesterday, I'm not going to care. I mean, I'm going to care, but I'm not going to care as much. Yeah. You know, that's what I want to see. I want to see us attempting, be brave. If we would have played like we did yesterday and lost to Chelsea, there wouldn't have been that reaction. It was how we were cowardly.
You want to see us have a go, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Take the game to the opposition. So that's what I'm going to be looking out for on Saturday.
All right. Well, there you have it, guys. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.